but what it will do is this: it will unleash the nuclear genie. And so for all those Americans out there tonight who say, you know what, taking on Iran's a good thing. I just told you, if we take on Iran, we're going to use nuclear weapons. And if we use nuclear weapons, the genie ain't going back in the bottle until an American city is taken out by an Islamic weapon in retaliation. So tell me, you want to go to war with Iran? Pick your city. Pick your city. Tell me which one you want gone. Seattle, LA, Boston, New York, Miami. Pick one, because at least one's going. And that's something we should all think about before we march down this path of insanity that George Bush has us headed on.
How many press are here? Anyway, there was a meeting among the items considered and rejected, which is why the New Yorker did not publish it, on grounds that it wasn't accepted. One of the items was, why not, there was a dozen ideas proffered, how to trigger a war. The one that interested me the most was, why don't we in our shipyard build 4 or 5 Iranian boats that look like Iranian PT boats, put Navy SEALs on them with a lot of arms, and the next time one of our boats goes through the Straits of Hormuz, start a shoot-up. Might cost some lives. And it was rejected because you can't have Americans killing Americans. But that's the level of stuff we were talking about, provocation. But that was rejected.
A radio host who says he predicted a staged attack on the World Trade Center involving Osama bin Laden as a fall guy in 2001 now says last week's red terror alert is just a trial run for a massive staged terror attack initiated by the U.S. government. Pardon me. Alex Jones says the attack will occur before the end of October and could provide the, quote, neo-fascist bloodsuckers in the administration with fraudulent justification to invade Iran or Syria before November's midterm elections.
I suspect you're not going to believe, at least at the outset, a startling new twist in Iran's ambition to develop nuclear power and weaponry. Unbelievably, the U.S. government has been funding a Russian institute that is working closely with Iran on nuclear projects. Another clear failure of the American government to protect our national security, and it is absolutely another statement as to the incompetence of our State Department and our foreign policy.
The U.S. Department of Energy is funding 2 Russian institutes with about $4 million, and those institutes help Iran with their nuclear program in Bushehr. Evidence is found in Russian documents obtained by the General Accountability Office. Page after page shows various projects, and one page reads, integration of plant-shared equipment at Bushehr Nuclear Power Plant is in progress. An Energy Department official at the House Energy Committee hearing today had no answers.
I have not had time to fully investigate, but I have directed the principal deputy of the NNSA, Bill Ostendorf, to look into those questions and to report back to me.
He also added Bushehr is a commercial nuclear power plant, not military.
How, Mr. Secretary, do you then rhyme that statement with what the State Department said when they said this: Iran uses Bushehr as a cover and a protection for obtaining sensitive technology to advance its nuclear weapons program?
With respect to the Bushehr reactor, my understanding is that this is something that the President has spoken to President Putin about, that the proliferation issues have been discussed, and that reactor remains under IAEA safeguards. Nuclear
non-proliferation experts say Russian help with Bushehr can be used in other projects.
What the Russians are actually helping to do is to bring a large reactor online which can make scores of bombs worth of plutonium per year, and we're hoping that the Iranians won't divert any of this material.
The rationale for the Department of Energy program was to pay the salaries of Russian scientists who were left without incomes after the Cold War. The thinking was to keep them on the payroll so they wouldn't peddle their nuclear expertise to rogue nations like Iran. Now, the House Energy Committee can't believe it, writing on the website, only this administration would complain about proliferation in Iran as part of the President Bush's axis of evil and then finance it with American taxpayer dollars. Lou?
This administration, everyone keeps talking about the legacy of this administration. Well, their legacy is mind-boggling, unbelievable, breathtaking incompetence and stupidity. That is going to be the legacy of the Bush administration. I mean, thank God that Congressman Dingell and Stupak are leading the way on this issue. I mean, how in the heck can a secretary of the Department of Energy, Samuel Bodman, even get up in the morning and think he has done anything but waste some of God's protoplasm if he can't run that department better than he is?
Well, you know, just the answers today were astonishing. I don't know. We'll check.
Unbelievable. The arrogant indifference and utter incompetence of this administration at every level. It is pervasive, it is shameful, and the fact that the American people have had to put up with this and continue to do so, it's just incredible. That is just an unbelievable story.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. There will be more new developments, I'm sure, on this.
Any thought to perhaps changing the direction of policy at the Energy Department?
They were defending the policy. They say that Russian institutes that participate in Boucher are not disqualified from these funds. They were actually defending this policy today.
When I suggested there was a change of policy, I didn't for a moment go into some sort of Pollyanna lapse and assume that anyone in the Bush administration would be intelligent or sensitive enough to think about a change. But Congressman Dingell, Congressman Stupak showing some considerable presence and frankly some forward-looking consideration. Are they demanding they change?
Yes, they are.
Kitty Pilgrim, again, terrific reporting. Really a lousy story for those who care about this country.
This isn't about sides. This is about confusion. This is about creating enemies where there aren't any. And man, the whole goddamn world's falling apart. Peace reigns, freedom reigns, democracy rules. How are we going to keep the military-industrial complex chugging forward without clear-cut, fucking, pit-faced, scum-sucking evil breathing down our neck? Threatening our very shores. Now my job is to make sure the other side keeps on fighting. Whatever side, whatever side we're officially not on this year.
Because this was such a closely guarded secret, it was comparable to mentioning skull and bones at Yale, which you're not supposed to do. That's